This meeting to order of the Stanislaus LAFCO Local Agency Formation Commission. Please rise for pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will begin with the introduction of commissioners and staff. And we'll start with you, Terry.
Terry Withrow, County Member.
Jim DeMartini, County Member.
Brad Hahn, Public Member.
Richard O'Brien, City Member, alternate.
Javier Cameron, Assistant Executive Officer.
Sarah Lytle-Penny, Executive Officer.
Alice Mims, LAFCO Council.
Jennifer Goss, Commission Clerk.
Okay. We will now move to agenda item 2, public comment. Any member of the audience wishing to address this board on a non-agenda item, this would be the time to do it. If you'd like to talk about an item on the agenda, you would have to wait till that item comes up. But if anyone would like to speak to us on a non-agenda item, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. This is a great opportunity that you have, you know. Okay, well, they passed up the opportunity of a lifetime. Okay, we'll move to agenda item 3, approval of minutes. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve.
Okay, motion's made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Do we approve the minutes of June 26th? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion's carried. We'll now move to correspondence. Is there any additional correspondence outside of what is listed on the agenda?
No.
Nothing. Anybody wish to discuss any of the correspondence? Okay, declarations of conflicts. Anybody have a conflict of interest?
No.
Okay, no one. As everyone's designated no, there's no conflicts. We will now move to the consent calendar. Does any member of this board wish to pull an item from consent? Any member of the audience wish to pull an item from consent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
Motion to approve consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. We approve the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's carried 4-0. We will now move to agenda item 7, public hearings. This is for LAFCO application 2019-09. Sarah?
Good evening, Javier Cameron with LAFCO. The item being discussed this evening is LAFCO application number 2019-09, municipal service review number 2019-05, and sphere of influence update number 2019-06, the Northwest Triangle number 2 reorganization to the city of Turlock. The proposed project is a request to modify the sphere of influence and annex approximately 22 acres into the city of Turlock. The request also requests to detach the project site from the Keys Fire Protection District. The area is located at 3525 West Monte Vista Avenue, on the north side of West Monte Vista and west of Highway 99. The site is adjacent to the current city limit and sphere of influence. The following slide shows an aerial of the project site. As you can see, the existing sphere right now is here in red, and also the city limit. So the proposal is right here adjacent to that location. And you can see some of the development around that project site. So just to provide the commission with a little bit of background on the project, in 1995, the city of Turlock adopted the Northwest Triangle Specific Plan. That included approximately 800 acres, largely within this triangle in Northwest Turlock, between Golden State Boulevard, Highway 99, and Folkerth. A lot of development in that area since that time. And at the time, this parcel was included in the proposal, but at the last minute, the property owner wanted to remove that parcel out of the annexation. 20 plus years later, the current property owner wanted to include that parcel back into that, or annex that parcel into the city. So this annexation would essentially complete the Northwest Triangle specific plan. Section 56430 of the state code requires a municipal service review, or MSR, when modifying a sphere of influence. The City of Turlock has prepared a draft MSR which identifies and evaluates public services related to the project site. The MSR can be found in Exhibit B of the Executive Officer's Report. Also included is a request to modify the city's sphere of influence. In this request, in approving a sphere amendment, the Commission is required to make determinations regarding factors related to land use, public facilities, and need for services within the sphere, and potential needs within disadvantaged and unincorporated communities. A discussion of these determinations can be found on pages 2 through 4 of the Executive Officer's Report. And this slide just shows where that current sphere of influence is for the city and where that update will be. So you could see here on the slide, this dotted line is where that new sphere line will be. Government code states that if an agreement is reached between the city and county, the Commission shall give great weight to the agreement in determination of a city sphere. In February of 2018, the County Board of Supervisors approved a resolution determining that the proposed sphere of influence was logical and orderly. Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg Act requires several factors to be considered by LAFCO when evaluating a reorganization. A discussion of these factors can be found on pages 4 through 8 of the staff report. And the next couple slides kind of go over a couple of those factors. So, one of those factors is an analysis and evaluation of the community services for the territory. According to the plan for services, essential governmental services including law enforcement, fire protection, water, sewer, and roads will be provided by the City of Turlock. The site will remain in the Turlock Unified School District and Turlock Mosquito Abatement District. Turlock's plan states that the city is able to provide the necessary services to the territory. Another factor to consider is whether the proposed annexation is considered orderly and logical. Given the existence of nearby infrastructure, the existing city boundary along the east and south sides of the project site, the proposal can be considered logical and orderly, a logical and orderly extension of the city's boundary. The city's plan, according to the plan, the project site is zoned for highway commercial uses. The city has implemented mitigation measures to reduce potential impacts to agriculture, including ag buffers along the urban-rural edge and inclusion of a right-to-farm ordinance. Pursuant to Government Code, the Commission may waive protest proceedings if the following 3 items apply. 1, that the territory is uninhabited. 2, that the owners have given written consent. And 3, that no agency has opposed the waiver of protest. And in this situation, all 3 have been completed. So the Commission may waive the protest proceedings. Pursuant to CEQA, the City of Turlock prepared an initial study and determined that the project is within the scope of the city's General Plan Master EIR. LAFCO Commission is a responsible agency and must consider that environmental documentation prepared by the city. So just to reiterate some of the main points related to the project. 1, the project is consistent with LAFCO policies. 2, Turlock is able to provide the necessary services to the site. The project site is a logical and orderly extension of the city's boundary. And the last, that the site will complete the Northwest Triangle specific plan. Staff's recommendation can be found on pages 11, 12 of the report, which includes approval of the reorganization, the municipal service review, the sphere of influence modification, and the waiver of protest proceedings. That concludes my presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Does any member of this board have a question for staff at this time?
No, sir.
I do. I'm noticing a difference between the sphere of influence. The boundary line is, if you look at the one that is in their sphere of influence in September 2007 and then 2012, it's different. It's a different, there's some parts on the east side that are not included in this, so it must have been annexed. There's a difference in the, if you look at page 62 and 63.
Okay.
It looks like that square that's oh, wait a second.
No, you're looking
See a
too
difference
close.
there at all.
I don't see that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I see. It's the bottom part was annexed as part of the, we're above Monte Vista, okay.
Right.
They just give you the wrong point for that.
Monte Vista. Yeah, there's a difference then still, but
Did the Keys Fire Protection District raise any objection about loss of revenue?
No, they actually have an agreement with Keys Fire for sharing some of the property tax revenue and then also backfilling for 5 years the assessment that they receive. So they came to an agreement.
Okay, I know that's always been a concern of this commission, that the rural fire districts weren't suffering any loss of revenue. Any other questions to staff? Okay, this is a public hearing. Open the public hearing. Any member of the audience wish to address this board on this item? This would be the time. Please come to the podium and state your name for the record.
Hello, I'm Katie Quintero with the City of Turlock, and just like to thank the Commission for hearing this item and thank staff for their work on the application, and I'm here and available if there's any questions for the City of Turlock. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for? Anyone else like to address this board on this item? Okay, seeing none, close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. I certainly would be hard pressed to say this wasn't logical and orderly. Seems like it's about one of the easier annexations we've had.
I move that we approve.
second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we approve this annexation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion's carried. That's a pretty thorough report, too. It's easy one. Okay, we will now move to agenda item 8A, interactive map. This is beyond my capability here, but
So this is just an informational item for the commission, just letting you know that we do have a map viewer available on our website now. It's something that we've been using internally for a while. The county had recently updated their system, which was making it a little difficult for us to get to our information. So we made our own viewer just tailored to the city and district data, but it also links directly to our MSRs, the SOI maps, and contact information for the cities and the districts. And so we've kind of shared this back out with the county so that their layers also have that information. But Javi's just going to show you quickly what it looks like if you go to our site. So there's a button there for LAFCO GIS. And if we still have internet, hopefully. There we go. So this is intended to be able to quickly get to the information that LAFCO has on properties. And so we use this internally to pull up things. You can use it on your phone. I've used it from home. If I'm checking something, if there's a question that comes in and I'm not in the office, I can quickly pull it up from home and email somebody. And he's going to show you one of the properties, probably the... So when you click on any of these parcels, he's kind of pulled up a random address out there. That's all right. You can click on any of those guys if you want. You can zoom back into...
I was going to go to the project site we just did.
That's a good one. Yeah. So you click on that, and you start shuffling through. There's a little arrow on the top there, and when you shuffle through, it's going to show you every district that that property is in. And then if you see the blue text there, it's giving links to, say, the PDF map. So it's going to pull up Turlock Irrigation District, and that's linking directly to LAFCO's maps. And you can pull up an MSR. It'll also link directly to Turlock Irrigation's website, which is very handy for us because for the smaller districts, a lot of times when somebody Googles a small district, it's going to pull up LAFCO first. So this will allow them to kind of go through and look and maybe get to the right context instead of, calling LAFCO and trying to find a district, let's say. So we're hoping that it's a handy tool for folks looking for district information. It's certainly handy for ourselves and possibly handy for you too. If you're in a meeting and you need to pull something up real quick, you can certainly do so. So that's where we're at, and it's just a little project that we're hoping to keep improving on. We are syncing up our data with the county. So as an example, we just recorded an annexation for City of Riverbank, and that layer was updated the same day it happened. So everyone can see immediately that that acreage is now within the city, and it'll link directly to our information on the annexation. So it's a handy tool.
Is it linked to, like if I get on the Riverbank's GIS or county's GIS, does it, if I click on that property, does it give me a way to get to LAFCO from there?
Yeah, we've actually shared, so the county right now is pulling our same data. So if you click on a property on the county system, it's going to look a little different because they have a bunch of extra things on it. But if you clicked on like the city limit layer right now on the county's data, it's going to have a link on there to go to our maps and to our MSR, and because they're sourcing it from us.
Good, because that's the way
Yeah.
I find the property, then I get on, then you hunt around for all the other stuff.
Yeah, and we
That's
wanted to
great.
make sure too that they were pointing to the right source, the most up-to-date source, which is us.
That's good.
So how did you develop this?
So with ArcGIS and their online version of ArcGIS, they actually have existing prepackaged apps like this. So you just tell it what layers you want on it. You check a few boxes, yes or no, what do you want it to look like. There's no programming involved. It's pretty simple to make, just on the fly. And we did it internally just for ourselves, just to test it out, to see if we could make something that served us better than the counties. And it just so happened to work. And you can push it out publicly, and it's pretty handy. I mean, it's mostly thanks to the ArcGIS system and not necessarily us knowing how to code things or do anything fancy, but it's something that anyone could learn how to do fairly quickly.
But you had to upload all the data in.
Yeah,
into it.
that's the good part too, is we have all that data to update. What we're hoping to eventually have is a way to make all of those layers publicly downloadable and usable too, so that anyone pulling that up can actually drag it into their own maps and use.
So
It's free data.
So you have, your staff work is impeccable. You have extensive reporting. You help all clients, and you're able to do this. How many staff do you have?
3.
Okay. Just want to make sure we weren't overburdening you. Very good.
Yeah.
She's being nice. This is all her.
Any other questions?
None.
The agenda calls us to accept this report. I'll entertain a motion to accept the report.
I will make that motion.
Okay, is there a second? Motion's been made and seconded. We accept the report. Agenda item 8A. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously, 4-0. Commissioner reports. Nothing? Brad, I know you have something to say.
I'm just glad to be able to vote after 6 months of dry period, but I do have one complaint. You hit that gavel way too hard. It scared the heck out of me. So next time, take it easy, will you?
Okay, I'll take some sensitivity training. Okay, I have nothing either. So, I have no additional matters. Executive officers report.
Just wanted to give a quick on the horizon. For September, we will be having the Wells Avenue annexation to the city of Modesto. That's southwest of McHenry Avenue and Claritina, or Pellendale, actually, at that site. In October, we're going to be hearing the Northwest Newman Master Plan. We've had that one for a while, and it's finally making its way to the commission in October. And then we have a large-scale annexation that we're working through right now for the East Side Water District. This will be pretty familiar because we had a fairly large request from them a couple years back, and this is adding on to it. So we'll hope to schedule that fairly soon as well. And that's all.
That's up in the foothills, right? Up.
Yeah, that's, well, it's
52.
kind of southeast of Turlock Irrigation District.
This annexation that's coming for Newman, is that the entire thing or just part of it?
It's just a phase one.
Because they have 3 or 4 phases, I think.
Right.
So it would just be the first piece then.
Yeah.
Okay, anything on Cal LAFCO you want to add?
Oh, we did have the informational correspondence from Cal LAFCO. There's a conference coming up, so if you do have interest in attending that, let Jennifer know. I know we have Commissioner DeMartini attending, and staff will also be in attendance.
Okay, anything else, Sarah?
That's all.
Okay, I guess now we adjourn to closed session. Is that the
Yes.
proper way of doing this?
Yes, pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, a closed session will be held to consider the public employee performance evaluation of the LAFCO executive officer. But before doing so, we need to open it up for public comment.
Okay, any public comment there? Please, I can allow you a few extra minutes.
Okay, having no public comment, we do not anticipate having to report out anything after closed session.
Would we have to come back out and
Yes.
close the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, we will adjourn to closed session. Yeah.